Access granted.
And as I said, I do have 3 lessons, and I was supposed to combine the first 2. So I'm back at you moments later with our second lesson, and it is one of the, I guess, the foundation for what we do and why we do it. In the midst that, I mean, talking about confessing, okay? Confessing, professing your faith. My God, my God. You know, we walk around with, various t-shirts of our favorite sports team. We may have some of those that have the player on it. And, we're saying something about that person, about that team. That's our team, that's our guy. Usually going to be a top 10 player. If it's historically, some who walk around with Martin Luther King on a t-shirt. I have a dream, Malcolm X, any means necessary, whatever the case. But do we walk around professing and showing folk what we believe and why we believe what we believe? And there are times when we have a shirt on, or a church shirt that speaks of an event that we're having with the youth, talking about Christ. But does your mouth and does your heart profess your faith? Romans 10, 8 through 10. And let me go ahead and read our golden text. Didn't read that in our previous study, but I'm going to read it here. Golden text says, "If thou shalt confess with thy mouth the Lord Jesus, and shalt believe in thine heart that God has raised him from the dead," it says, "thou shalt be saved." That's Romans 10 and 9. And what I want to focus on here is our mouth and our heart. Listen to this. The heart and the mouth is really what it's all about. So I'll say the heart and mouth of the matter. It's said that confession is good for the soul. Well, confession of faith in Jesus Christ is more than just good for the soul. Jesus himself was big on confessing. He put it this way in Matthew 10, 32, 33. And I'm going to read that because it's powerful. Matthew 10, 32, 33. Jesus said, "Therefore, whoever confesses me before men," he says, "him I will also confess before my Father who is in heaven." Okay? I'm going to read that one again. "Therefore, whoever confesses me before men, him I will also confess before my Father who is in heaven." He says, "But whosoever denies me before men, him I will also deny before my Father who is in heaven." Jesus was big on confessing. Have you confessed your faith lately? Have you found opportunity to confess your faith lately? And how do you do that with people not looking at you and thinking that you're crazy? I would say pray about it. The mouth must express what is in the heart. It's possible to believe much about Jesus and remain unsaved. And when I came across that, you have to stop, you have to think, because we know more about Christ, but then to make sure that you're saved. The Jews knew a lot about the law, but they rejected Jesus Christ. To embrace the word of faith, which is the historical event of death, resurrection of Jesus Christ. That's the historical event. Things of society, man places value and worth, and generally we agree with. For example, a Rolls Royce, a Cadillac truck that's worth $50,000 or $60,000, and we'll say, wow, that's about right. Whether we can afford it or not is a different subject. But we place that value on that vehicle, or the producers do, the manufacturers do, if you will. Buildings, five-star hotels, and they'll place that price on that room for one night. If it's a five-star, it could be $300 or $400 per night. But the value is placed on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will agree with that value. Whether we can afford it or not is the question. The value, the worth of salvation through Jesus, every man, woman, boy, and girl can afford that. And if you've got a mouth, if it's a five-star, it's $400 per night. But the value is placed on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will agree with that value. Whether we can afford it or not, the salvation is every man, boy, and girl can afford that. And $5 per night, but the value is on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will add value. Whether we can afford it or not, the salvation is every man, boy, and girl can afford that. $5 per night, but the value is on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will add value. Whether we can afford it or not, the salvation is every man, boy, and girl can afford that. $5 per night, but the value is on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will add value. Whether we can afford it or not, the salvation is every man, boy, and girl can afford that. $5 per night, but the value is on that. That's society. And generally, like I said, we will add value. Whether we can afford it or not, the salvation